day to you. I hope you're all doing your social distancing in these weird times. So it's all going to go back to normal eventually, probably right off 2020, because a lot of people can't get timber and deliveries and stuff like that, me included, but I've got enough here. But I thought I would repair this chair. Now I think it came from my late father-in-law, and as you can see, it's been abused over the years. It's quite an old, I think it's Victorian, and as bits have fallen off, been poking some glue into it and all sorts, and then eventually it collapsed. Funny enough, when I was sat on it at the computer, and then it got thrown into the loft and forgot about. I thought it's time to do something about it. Now today I should be, I mean, it is that sad state. I should be taking everything to pieces and then repair it and like strip it down like to its components and then repair it and then glue it all together again. So today I'll be using two tools that I've brought and I've never used, I know. It's a scraper, that's a Barco one, made by Barco, and it's quite a stiff one, but and also Shinto rasp. I think it's called a rasp file, or Shinto rasp. Japanese. It's a beautiful machine. Because I haven't got a spoke shave or anything like that, I thought I'd give this a go. On one side it's a more coarse teeth set on it, and then on this side it's a bit smoother. So I shall give you my opinion on it after I've finished doing it. This is made of oak, which is a good thing because I have some spare bits and pieces of oak in there anyway. I collect it, and we shall go from there. I'm going to strip it down, scrape it, and then I shall reassemble it and then cover in a nice finish. Probably the Osmo matte clear. That's all I got really, so I'll use that. And it's good. I'm not going to finish the top. Each little tear and bit and stuff is a story, so that's staying as is. I should just clean it up. That's it. Because there's so many parts of this that's going to come out, every single one actually, I'm labelling it. So because me being old, I'm going to lose how many bits. It's surprised how many bits is in a chair. And then what I've also done is gone around and photograph it all just to make sure that all the bits are going to be in the right place. Any bits that come off also, I've got a box, like the little pellets that they use to put in on there as decorative and to hide the screw that holds it together. I'm putting all those in there, I'm labelling them as well. And hopefully they'll all go in the right places. With me, you never know. Well, that's all the bits taken apart. You wouldn't believe there were so many bits in a chair, would you? There's 20 bits there. Marked them all up, like I said. And now all I've got to do is clean them all off. It's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. No, so I think it's all the same wood, same wood, same wood. With most of the joints, they were dowels. So all I did is just drill out the dowels if it wasn't loose, but most of them were loose anyway, so pretty much fell apart, which is a good thing for me. Anyway, what I'll do now, clean them all off, drill out all the dowels, and then ready for replacing those. And then sand it down. I don't know, sand it. What I'll do is I'll use the scraper, because I don't want to make it look really nice. Well, you know what I mean, new. I want to keep some dents and scrapes and stuff like that to make it needs character. There are some repairs, quite a lot of repairs actually, to do, and then I'll show you after I've done that. You don't want to watch me scraping away at these. This is when you wish you had an apprentice. So here, boy, clean those off. And that's it. But no, all on my own. I suppose I'll get a wife to do it, couldn't I? These mortises are a nightmare to try and clean out with a chisel. So I use these brushes to paint in the glue, and every time it's gone hard or gone further, I just snap the head off and keep that bit, which is this. What I'm going to do now is just roll it over, cut it off, and then squirt with your finest. Get some contact adhesive. Very good amount, because if you think, well, this is just about to go through. Let it go off for 5 seconds, and at the moment, to try and get all this glue out of here, I'm using 80 grit sandpaper, and stick my finger to the sandpaper, and then stick it in the drill, and sand away. Right, one way of getting these old dowels out, this is an automatic punch, center punch. You don't need one of these, but I just use it for when I'm doing ironmongery and hinges and stuff like that. Roughly find the center as close as you can. I've got 10mm dowels, so I've got a 10mm auger bit in there, and then there she is. That seems to be the best way to do it, or for me anyway, the easiest way. All you need to do is make sure you get the center as close as you can. I mean, a lot of time what it'll do, it will find its own center of the hole anyway. Once you go down, it'll automatically go into that center hole. But if you know an easier way of getting them out, just let us know in the comments. To cut down sanding as much as I can, I'm going to scrape these flat surfaces, but these curves and stuff, I'm going to have to sand those, but only moderate sanding with P80 to try and keep the roughness of it so it doesn't look brand new. As you can see here, this is the back of the seat, and there's like a surface split on it. It doesn't go all the way through, it's just kind of sheared off a bit. And what I want to do is stabilise it rather than do anything else with it. So we're going to try and get some glue in there if possible, and then hopefully gravity is going to help me a bit here. Try and get that down in there. Just nice. Get as much as I can in there. Right. Now what I do to save it sticking to the clamp, grease-proof paper, and get one of these clamps. Oh, clamp her on there like that. And hopefully, once that's gone off, that'll stabilise it. And then these clamps are ideal. They're only cheapy things, but for doing stuff like this, they're spot on. So if you can get a handful of those, it's good. Right, confession time. While I've been struggling to match oak with this, is because this isn't oak. And now it's actually ash. And when I've actually got a piece of ash, the right thickness as well. And when you put the ash next to this, it's blatantly bloody obvious that it's ash. So I don't know what I was thinking about. I do wonder sometimes how the hell I've got on so far in the bloody carpentry world. So it's coming off because I don't want, because it looks bad and I couldn't colour match it, and that's why. So not only is the grain wrong, the colour's wrong, everything's wrong. So I'm going to hack it off and I'm going to start again. So this piece is pretty knackered, but what I'll do is I'm going to glue that section back there, and then that stabilises that section. This bit should be okay, and then what I'll do after that's glued on and finished, I'll cut another section out of there and replace it, and then recut this slot back in there. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. And then that should be stable, that's stable, a new piece in there should make it all stable. This is the back of the seat, and I'm trying to keep everything as original as possible, so I don't want to really remake a new one. So that's split out. So all I've done is glued a piece of wood back in again, hardwood, and I'm going to just shape that slot back in again. And then this is on the back. These are the bits you lean against. So it takes a lot of pressure. I think that's why it snapped. So I'm going to try and reshape it. You won't see the back of this piece anyway, because the seat goes into that. Well, there it is. She's a nice snug fit on the front and back. As you can see, these three back rails, slightly different angles. The middle one I've just done is straight up, and then these two angle. I think it's to kind of get the shape of the back of the chair. So that's the one I've just done. That is the right one. And that's the left. That's the left one. All we need to do now is the big glue up, I think. Yeah. Next thing, glue. I think the best way to glue this up is do it in sections and making sure that I don't leave any bits out. Just having a dry fit, it seems to fit all right. And then I'll glue each section and then put them all together at the end, hopefully. See if I've left any bits out. So I go.
takes so much not to shout your name out loud. I'll always be here for you, like the shore is always waiting for the sea.
Right, all the woodwork's done, all the gluing's done, everything. So now it's time to give it 2 coats of your finest Poly-X oil. It's a clear matte finish, and I shall be applying it with some non-scarring pads as normal. Really thinly coats as possible, because if you put it on too thick it goes all white, it dries white and it's horrible, it tears out really bad. Keep mixing it on the way through, and that's it. Pair of gloves as normal, and start at the top, finish at the bottom. Look at the way that grain pops out when you start putting the first coat on. It's beautiful, isn't it? Hopefully the rest of it will look like that. It's going to take a while though, isn't it? Well, it's finally finished. 2 coats of Osmo Poly-X oil. It's the matte, clear matte one. I was applying it with the non-scouring pads that I've got, and then you apply it with one, and then you wipe off with a second one, and you keep doing that until that one's wet through, and then the one that you was wiping off with then becomes your applicator one, and then you get another one and you wipe the drips off with that one, and when that gets wet you keep swapping over like that, and it gives a nice finish to it. Give it a go. Apart from that, if you think it's worthy of a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up, or if you want to subscribe to see some more. Until the next time, cheers.
I just